Well, hey, welcome back. And wasn't that kind of an exciting beginning session? Hopefully your eyes are starting to get open that, wow, there's something here, something powerful. And each session will build on the previous session, and they're going to be more and more exciting and eye-opening, and really start your mind to start to think and really go places and start to see solutions to problems. I think that's the most important thing, and how to start to get free of these things, not only for you, but your whole family as well. So before we wrap up, I want to walk through a couple of details, and then I want to walk through some homework, okay? Detail number one, everyone's got a book and they look just alike. Really important is I need you to write your name along the rib of the book, okay? Maybe put it in a couple places, make it bold so you can see it. And then once you get home and you start to work on this, I encourage you to do something with your book. Either highlight edges of it, put a bright color ribbon or bookmark or something in there, because here's what's going to happen. Since everyone's books look alike, they're going to be laying down on the ground some, maybe on a table as you're fellowshipping, and then you're going to grab a book to leave and you think you grab yours, but it's someone else's, and that's going to kind of wreck a lot of things. So make sure you can visually identify your book without having to open it up. That's the main thing. So do something like that. Number two is bring your book every time, because this is your workbook, not only for the class, but for the things that you're doing through the homework sessions with it as well. Now with that, I want to show you one more part of this book. And if you'll turn to part 2, which is the Prayer of Freedom book. You can see it's right after the note sheets, okay? The Prayer of Freedom book is actually divided into 2 sections, Section 1 and Section 2. So Section 1 is the first half of it, and this is what we'll be going through in part with these teaching sessions. And I encourage you to start reading this as part of your homework assignment. Just start reading from the very beginning, starting in the introduction of the Prayer of Freedom book, and start reading, and it'll make some sense as you go through these sessions, but I cover more things within the book that I may not cover in the session, so you get a lot out of that. But then for your homework assignment, this is now really important. Underscore this. I want you to start in Section 2, okay? Section 2 starts in Chapter 11, and Chapter 11 is how to start breaking free. Because as we start to go through these 6 sessions, then your homework assignment is to actually do the work of getting free. So by the time we finish all 6 sessions, you now are free of all kinds of issues in your life. But to make that happen, you need to start now. So we'll start in Chapter 11, which is Breaking Free. I encourage you to download our mobile app, because a lot of the teaching that will come later in the book will be on the mobile app. But there are 2 things most important that I want you to do as your first steps in the homework, okay? Chapter 11, real short chapter, but really important, is at the end of Chapter 11 is what I call an issue grid, okay? This is where you write down a list of issues that you are dealing with. Could be back pain or migraines or anxiety, or it could be sleep apnea, or whatever it is. And then you're going to grade it on a 0 to 10 scale, with 10 being most, right now before you do anything within the Prayer of Freedom. And what we're going to do is, what you're going to do, not we, but what you're going to do is you're going to use this as a scorecard to see how effective this prayer process is in getting you free of so many things. And then you can use that as a testimony with others. Then the second thing to do is I want you to start once you finish the issue grid, which is pretty quick, turn to Chapter 12, which is the next page, and start going through the list preparation guide. It's self-explanatory. If you need help, it has a training video that goes along with it that you'll see periodically. When you download the mobile app, you'll see this in Chapter 11. But anytime you have a little cross icon that says that's a training video in my app. But what I want you to focus on in Chapter 12 is this list preparation guide. So what we're talking about is unrepented sin creates consequence. So the list preparation guide is a set of memory joggers in different categories that I've identified as where most of these unrepented sins occur. And these are the things that we want to confess so that we can get rid of all the torment in your lives. So this is just a process. It takes the average person about 1 hour to go through this. So maybe 2 hours if you have a lot of things going on in your life. So it's not that much, but this is your homework assignment before you return for session 2. And real quickly, that homework assignment at the very least is to do your issue grid and then to complete the list preparation guide. And then with all of that, we'll be ready and I'll come back and we'll start session 2 at the next session. Thanks for allowing me to guide you guys through this, and have a very blessed time.